Just popping on to live. Waiting for a few people to come on. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this live, but I had the urge to come on, so I thought I'd follow it. See if anyone's down for a little spiritual contemplation moment. I've been really thinking about more recently, have been tapping into the more symbolistic nature of the universe, which has been really interesting. And I find that when we start to look at things from a symbolic perspective, hey Stephen, welcome. When we start to look at things from a symbolic perspective, we can learn so much. How's your day been? I was looking into spirit animals today. I find it so interesting when you really start looking at the symbolic nature of different animals. Everything has this aspects to it, like plants, animals, we do, minerals. Everything has a hidden encoded symbology, even down to the parts of our body. You can read them from a symbolistic, if that's a word, viewpoint. Hi, welcome. Hi, everyone. If you're here, say hi. Welcome, guys. If you've been here before, let me know. And also, let us know where you're tuning in from. Where in the world? I'm currently in England. Summon the fish. I have a question. What is happening? Just talking about the mysteries of the universe, if you care to join. Hi, everyone. Hi, Rusted Wrench. Hi, Zachary. Hi, Hamza. Hi, Kalab Sarvesh. Hi, Jordan. Oh, you're from Jordan. Sorry. Hi. Odd 769. Do you know Stray Kids? No. I'm your regular hater. Well, be careful because you might get banned with that kind of energy. Hi, Pink Rose. Oh, Hamza from India. Do you come daily? No, I don't come on here daily. But I do come on a few days. A week. It's a few days a week, sorry. Hi, Becky. Hi, Ghost, the 100. Nice. Enjoy putting your horses in their stables. Sounds fun. Ah, first time on the live stream. Nice to see you. Okay, Shadow. Mysteries of the universe. As in from a factual standpoint or hypothetical standpoint? I feel like whatever standpoint you feel like talking about it from. It's all different perspectives, right? Is this a Q&A? It is a Q&A. Do you know how to speak Arabic? No. You've been here a couple of times but never chatted in the chat. Well, welcome to the chat and welcome back. It's good to have you here. You're looking younger than your age. Any secrets? I mean, meditation. Cultivating stillness is my biggest thing, I would say, is keeping yourself relaxed, like keeping myself relaxed in my body, sending attention to my body, to my skin. Say peace be upon you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You said I was ignoring you. What did you say? Hi, Blaze. Welcome. I'm from England. What do you guys think of spirit animals? Have you, because, okay, something that I really like to do is receive messages from the universe very intuitively, okay? And it's not really always something you can explain with the logic, but it's something that I've experienced a lot. Okay, Rusty Wrench, sorry, my lady, I don't believe in spirituality and stuff because I think they are vague. That's okay. You don't need to believe. We're just here for conversation, exploration. I didn't used to believe either. Honestly, when I first started learning about spirituality, I didn't believe in anything spiritual. But as I got into it more, I started to experience things, and that's what has changed my perspective. Hi, Tim. Okay. Thank you, Odd. And this is your brother's account. Okay. Everyone is special. Everyone's special. Everyone's unique. So I was looking into the symbolism of one of my favorite animals earlier, and I found it to be very useful. And I do this like often when I am in a challenging place or I feel like I might need some guidance from the universe. And then I use my intuition to follow where I'm going to get that guidance from. I usually always have it's either going to be a book or just something. It might be something that I need to research. And so I was looking into one of my favorite animals and it gave me a lot of interesting insight. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite animal or an animal that you've connected with since you were a kid? Because that can tell you a lot. Like it might be that animal, I personally believe if there's an animal that you've really connected with from young, even if it's like an animal that you don't necessarily like love, but it's an animal that's been in your life predominantly, that animal has a lot to teach you when you look into its symbolistic nature. Okay, Rusted Wrench. I always thought people who are into spirituality are often trying to escape someone in life. They are not brave enough to face it. What do you think about this take? I always thought people who are into spirituality often try to escape someone in life. They are not brave enough to face it. Why do you think that? Could you expand upon that? Because I'm not really sure I 100% know what you mean. My night's going well, thank you, Tim. Hi, Kim from Denmark. Nice to have you here. Any sadna? What's sadna? Eskimos. Oh, your live streams are so nice to watch. Thank you, Alyssa. Welcome to the live stream. Have you been here before? My favorite animal is a rabbit. I love them since 3. I have a pet rabbit named Roby. Oh, I love that. You should look into the symbolism of rabbits. Like, go on YouTube and type in um spirit animal rabbit, and there's actually a good channel. I'll get you up the woman's name because she has like some really good information. She's actually a spirit animal coach, which is so cool. And I think like that's like what she focuses on. And you can look into what it means, and you can really, okay, her name's Jordana Van. So if you go on YouTube and type in rabbit or whatever your animal is, and then go on her channel, or just like whatever video calls you, then you probably will get um some really interesting information or message that you need to hear right now. Okay, Alyssa. Yes, I will live stream again. I'm on live stream quite a lot, talking about spiritual stuff. It's not someone, I meant it's something. Let's say people can't obtain money, yap about how money is not important. And with the same energy, people who are not successful in regular medium life. I think that spirituality can absolutely be used as escapism or as a coping mechanism, but the same can be said for literally anything. Anything that you can use to benefit you, you can also use for avoidance. So, yes, there are people that do that, but there's also a positive side to spirituality that can be very beneficial to the whole, to humanity. Hi, Robert from Kenya. Welcome. We're just talking about spirituality. And if you have any questions, then put them in the chat. Or even if you have any like interesting insights that you have recently been thinking about, spiritual insights, put them in the chat and we can discuss them. Or even anything like challenging that you're dealing with that maybe you want to talk about from a spiritual perspective, we could also do that. Hi, Nachi? Nachi Kit? I'm from England. Where did you learn about spirituality? I've been learning about spirituality for like the last 10 years through books, YouTube, podcasts, a lot of books. I love to read. I was just looking around because I've just got books like randomly. There's one on the floor, and then there's one next to me. Rusted Wrench. I don't hate spirituality or anything, but I don't find it interesting. Well, I find it interesting that you're here then, listening to this chat. Hulk is drinking Jack Daniels. Pink Rose. Well, I have to leave now. I will see you soon when you go live again. Okay, have a lovely evening or day. Have you hit 2K subscribers yet? No, but I'm close. You like whiskey or vodka? I prefer vodka. I don't really like whiskey. I'm a man that wants to become a woman. Is that okay with me? Okay with you? I don't have any issue with you wanting to become a woman if that's what you want to do. I don't even know you, so I don't know why the reason is. But if that's what you want, then that's up to you. Why don't you answer me? It depends what you said, honestly. I can't remember. Do you think most people don't get what you're trying to say? No, I think some people do really get it and some people don't. Just depends on where their state of consciousness is and their level of understanding of these kinds of topics. Some people are more tapped into the spiritual side of things and some people are not. We're just all different. Like, I see things from a very spiritual perspective and it happens so naturally for me. I can I feel like I'm tapped into the psychic realms and I notice that not everyone is. Some people are more logical, mind-based. Some people are more thinkers. Um and they're not so much feelers, whereas I'm very much a feeler. I feel things very deeply and I also have a very very um deep and um active imagination and visual sight in my third eye, which has been also developed for the last few years from practicing different spiritual practices very consistently. So, what is the concept of death in spirituality? Like, what happens after we die? I personally, like, believe that we leave our bodies and we don't die. Our soul doesn't die. Do you believe, is there a world beyond our universe? It's funny how I'm scratching my head like, does my mind even compute like the infinite? Like, I feel like whenever you try to think about how infinite the universe is, or like if like infinity, it's like really mind-boggling. But I do believe, I don't know, I do believe there's more universes than this universe, maybe. Like, I don't think there's only one universe. But what even is a universe? Maybe it's like a it's maybe the universe like our universe is governed by certain laws and then other universes are governed by different laws. So what makes our universe? Our universe is the laws that govern it, like the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the law of rhythm. How to do anything without doing anything? What do you mean? What do you want to do without doing? Amy, you always look bright as a star. What's the secret? Well, I listen to myself very carefully. I really do. I listen to how I feel and I really listen to when I need rest or when and sometimes it's harder, honestly. Sometimes it's not as easy because like sometimes you might have a feeling come up or like I need to set a boundary and it's not always maybe the most natural thing for me. It's something I'm learning. So but I still do it. Even if I am finding it difficult, I still do um tend to like really listen to what I need and that is what allows me to stay healthy. Why does an intelligent person face so bad luck in one's life? Hmm. Well, I don't really believe in luck to be honest. I do believe in that. I don't know how to explain. So, why does an intelligent person face so much bad luck in one life? I think it depends on their state of consciousness, honestly. Like, are they using the intelligence from God, like the infinite intelligence, or are they using their mind to try and do everything? Because that can be very destructive if they're not directing their mind in a conscious way. The more conscious we are, the more likely that we are going to experience higher quality experience. The more conscious our decisions are, the more likely we're going to make good, high quality decisions. And when we make high quality decisions, we're more likely to reap high quality effects from that. So it really depends on what the person is doing and what they're thinking. How did you activate your third eye? Okay, well, meditation, honestly, by being very. I honestly feel like when I first started meditating, I started tapping into a part of me that was always there, and I didn't really realize that. It was just more over time I started to open myself up to the spiritual realm through going inwards and cultivating stillness and working with my imagination. Okay, someone said I imagine a lot. Can you elaborate on that? What exactly you imagine? I mean, what do spiritual people imagine? I'm going to explain something to you that I think everyone should know, and that is that the imagination realm is the spiritual realm. It's the non-physical. It's where we are limitless. That we are always creating with our mind. And you can also tap into your psychic senses through the imagination. Like for me, when I look at someone and I get like a impression of them, this is how I would describe it, is like I can get an impression of someone from my imagination. And I say imagination wrong because like I don't know how else to describe it. It's like in your imagination, you have certain, and I don't know what it's like for other people, but this is what it's like for me. For me, it's like I have images come through. And I would say they're like impressions. But our imagination is also going to be dependent on what our mind is tuned into, our frequency, and what we're thinking. But if you really like, if you spend time clearing out your mind, your system, then you can have a very clear imagination. I don't know how else to describe that. It's like you start to clear out your thoughts by meditating and creating stillness. And then the images or the impressions that I get through the imagination realm are a lot clearer and I can sense them with a different kind of clarity. And I know that sometimes like these impressions are actually, it's not just like me making it up because I'll confirm it with people. I'll have an impression. Like if the other day someone said to me that they used to have a dog, and as soon as they said that, this picture of a husky came into my mind, and I was like, "Oh, you had a husky?" And he was like, "Oh no, like I didn't have a husky, but he had this other breed that looks like a husky." And so I was like, "Wow, like I don't know anyone with a husky." And like the fact that I knew that. It's just like I get these impressions, and it happens a lot with people. And I've noticed that more I trust it, the stronger and more accurate it is, because I don't know. Let me see what's. Is third eye really true? Because I think it's the biggest cap lie by spiritual people. I will explain to you like what the third eye. You like sometimes as well. It maybe helps to look at things from like a symbolistic perspective. Like the third eye is one of the chakras. So when you look at it from the chakras, and maybe this is you don't even want to hear about chakras if you're not really that spiritual, you know. But the third eye is just like a if you if you think about it as like an energy center. So we have different energy centers in our body, and they all have different like functions, but also they have different connections to different things. So we have the throat chakra. So this energy center is very much connected to our communication and connected to our voice and our expression. These are all real things. And so our third eye is all connected to our imagination. So when people are talking about the third eye, it's not that you necessarily, and there is a pineal gland there, there's a gland, but it's not necessarily like a physical eye, but it's your third eye is the eye, it's the mind's eye. It's the eye that sees the non physical, it's the eye that sees the imagination realms. It's literally like the inner eye. I don't even like calling it the third eye. I like calling it the first eye because that's your singular eye. That's like when you say I am, that's the first eye. The I am that comes before anything else, like after, I mean, that becomes before anything else, as in the one that is observing your thoughts, the one that is observing your feelings, because we can't be our thoughts and feelings if we are able to actually see them. If we are able if we are able to be aware of our thoughts, then we can't be our thoughts. We are the one that is aware of the thoughts. So that is what I would say is the first eye or third third eye. Um so it's the inner eye, the imagination. And that's why when you look into the chakra system and you look into the third eye chakra, the third eye chakra being the energy center that is connected with imagination, it's the one that's connected with the spiritual realms, because this spiritual realm is where we first have our initial inspirations, our the ideas that we get that we birth into the 3D. Hey guys, hey Ruan, welcome. Have you ever been in deep dissociation? No. Not, I don't think so. I mean, I've definitely had dissociation when I was a child. I think we all have to some certain extent, but I don't think I've had deep dissociation, no. Um, I respect you a lot from the bottom of my heart, but you're not replying to my comments. Okay, well, sometimes I don't reply to all comments. I tend to reply to comments that are actually like, I don't know, the ones that I really want to reply to and I'm inspired to answer, but um, yeah. What do you think about a person who goes through the entire life without being spiritual? Let's say someone who Does painting, art, or music to achieve their inner peace, is that life worth living? Absolutely. I think that every single life on this planet is worth living. We all have a purpose, and some of us aren't here to be to be interested in spirituality. It's like, you think about it. There's this spiritual teacher called Matthias de Stefano, and I heard him say this once, is that just like a body needs all the different organs, it needs a heart, it needs a lung, it needs the lungs, it needs the stomach, it needs all of these things. They're not the same. They have different functions, but they're all needed to make the whole work. And that is what we are like as a humanity, as a collective. Not one person is we're all needed. All the different types of expressions of humans are all needed. So, and we all have our own functions. So it's needed that we have people that aren't so much tapped into the spiritual realm, but are more tapped into the 3D realm. It's needed that we have people that are more physically inclined, because everyone has a different job. We can't all be the same. Otherwise, there would be lots of things that weren't getting done and weren't being developed. If everyone was developing the spiritual world, then the 3D world might not be as developed, you know? If everyone was developing the 3D, then maybe, and I think that's also something that's been happening, is like we are waking up more spiritually, seemingly, with the rise of technology and all the communication and connection that we have, and the darkness as well that is seeming to prevail the planet. I think it's making humanity as a collective want more light on the planet. Subconsciously, we want to create more harmony, and obviously a lot of us consciously want to create more harmony. And so there's a lot of us that are speaking about spirituality and bringing more God essence to the earth. Okay. Do you think science, religion, philosophy, and spirituality all try to accomplish the same thing, but we are not there yet? Do I think they're all trying to accomplish the same thing? No, not necessarily. I think they are, in terms of, we all want to be happy, right? And we all do things thinking that it's going to make us happier. But when it comes to the actual intention of a scientist versus the intention of someone that is working in religion, it really depends on the person. But science as a whole, do I think science and religion are trying to accomplish the same thing? I don't know how to answer that, because I think it comes down to the individuals. There could be someone that is in a religion that is trying to accomplish the same thing as someone that is a scientist, maybe, and philosopher and a spiritual person. But then there may be there are people also in religion that aren't trying to accomplish the same thing. It's more there could be, for example, many people in Christianity, but they're not all trying to accomplish the same thing, or they are they're not even aligned in their intentions. But going back to what I said before, I do think that as a whole, our driver is a lot to try and do what we perceive is going to make us happy. What does developing spiritual world mean? What does developing spiritual world do? all people share one single spiritual world. I thought everyone has their own in their head, and it's like imaginary land. When I say like developing spirituality, I mean in terms of at every moment in time, the collective consciousness is at a certain point in evolution when it comes to their spirituality. So humanity right now, spiritually, is more evolved than maybe like 100 years ago. So the people that are in the spiritual field, like for me, for example, something that I one of my intentions or one of my drivers to work as like a spiritual teacher is to open more people up to the spiritual dimension and assist them in their spiritual evolution if that is what they want. Because I believe that when we are tapped into the spiritual dimension and we all understand that we are divine beings connected with each other, connected with the source, then we are more likely, or we'll live in harmony if we were all to be in that state of consciousness. So, yeah, that's what I meant. Michael Clancy, science is based on things that already exist. Yeah, and I heard someone say once that science is like the outer, but spirituality is like the inner. If don't know if you know what that means, if that lands. Okay, Rusted Wrench. I love to be a troll, but I like to know what this girl thinks about lots of stuff, so I ask her stuff you don't get to ask other people. And also, like, you haven't been a troll. I don't remember you being a troll, and if you were, I probably muted you. And also, like, thank you for asking me real questions and actually getting involved in the conversation. I do appreciate that. But I don't have much tolerance. I don't have tolerance for trolls, honestly. I've been a spiritual practitioner and teacher for the last 12 years. And yes, all science, religion, and philosophy goes back to spirituality, create a higher truth. Thank you, projecting divinity. I love that. Michael Clancy, you have to feel sad in order to feel happy. Well, if we didn't have sadness, we wouldn't know what happiness feels like you say. I'm having so much fun. Well, I'm so happy. If you are enjoying, then please do support the channel by subscribing or liking. I would appreciate it. Do you think I'm a bad person to think spiritual people are kind of slow? I don't think you're a bad person. If that's your perspective, that's your perspective. But I don't know, what do you mean by slow? Because do you think it's bad when people are slow? When you say slow, do you mean like stupid? Evolution is a theory, not a fact. Okay. In population-based studies, which parents' genetics does it say are the greatest predictor of IQ? Which race earns the least and lowest academic scores? I don't know. Do you know? Hey, Truth Claim, welcome back. Life is a test. When Allah loves a people, he tests them. Do you know what's funny? Actually, Truth Claim, I was watching a video last night about Khadijah, which is really like, it was really random. I never meant to even watch it. I was like typing in a different word on YouTube, which I'd spelt wrong. I was trying to find this place. Okay, there's this place in South Africa, right? Called, I don't know what it's called. It's next to Cape Town. If anyone knows what it's called, please tell me. It begins with a K. And I didn't know how to spell it, but I was trying to spell it. And then I ended up finding this video about Khadijah. And it was so interesting. I loved it. And I never learned about anything. I never really learned about Islam that much, but when I started learning about it, I was like, this is beautiful, honestly. Wealth could be a means. Person enters hell. It depends on the state of consciousness of the person, honestly. There are many people that are living in wealthy situations and they're not happy. And there's also many people that are wealthy and and happy is not even the right word, it's like peaceful. There are many people that are that have lots and lots of money and they're not at peace, and vice versa. There's also people that have less money and they are more peaceful, and there's people that have less money and they're not peaceful. So it depends. It's like, it does beg the question, is it the situation that causes the peace or the suffering, or is it the state of consciousness that causes our peace and suffering? I send my love from the pagan community. Thank you, Blake Rook. We send you love too. I say we, I mean me. What do you think about Kanye? I don't really have that many thoughts about Kanye. Honestly, I don't know. If Allah knows something good in you, He gives you signs, but you must listen and reason. Thank you. Hi, Nathan. I did have a good day, thank you, Tim. I hope you did too. Iman is the source of happiness and contentment. Do you know about the egg theory? No. I don't know. To your question, Nasir, I don't know. Truth claim. You never know what people are like in private. Never judge on the external. Well, you can read people's energy. Energy never lies, guys. Sometimes you have to put people on mute and then just like feel them and watch their actions. A lot of religions say my people are demons, but my people don't believe in demons. Could you tell us more about your people? Hi, Sunflower. Hi, Jeremiah. Welcome to the live. Thank you for being with us. Oh, Tim, you got a new dog. What kind of dog did you get? Nordic Welsh. Interesting. I don't know much about the Nordic Welsh paganism, but sounds interesting. Is it very much to do with like nature, connecting with nature? Do you believe in God? I do believe in God, yes. I don't believe in God in a Christian sense. I do believe that we are all expressions of the divine and that we have a direct connection with God. You have a chocolate poodle. Oh, what's his name? Or her? Being one with nature. I have many gods. Wow. Interesting. So is it like you're more connecting with the spirits of nature? Would they be gods to you? Like the spirit of water, for example? The elements? Truth claim, all dependent things are not worthy of worship. Jesus, Satan, all dependent on being created and sustained. Interesting. Hi, I just joined. What's the live about? We're talking about spirituality. At the moment, we're talking about different religions, actually, and different spiritual traditions, which is interesting. I love, like, in this chat, there's people from different traditions and religions, and we're kind of just discussing different ideas and viewpoints. Yes, Blake. You know what's interesting is I really do connect with that. Like I just connect with the spirits of the elements as well and God. But I do think that everything's just connected, and the spirit of water is an expression of God, just like we are. Or it's a way that God expresses through a more I don't know how to explain. Except Allah, who is independent, all elements are aware of Allah. Even some jinns worship Allah. Oh, sorry. What if you do nothing with your life? What do you mean? Oh, okay. Are you asking me? What do you mean? What if you do nothing with your life? What are you asking? What's going to happen if you do nothing? Summit Wave, you're from England. Welcome. Me too. Okay, cool. I'm really confused about that because I kind of believe in God, but also science. Yeah. I feel like science is proving like spiritual stuff, you know? It's like it all connects. But a lot of the time spiritual stuff is ahead of science because it's all experiential for one. Like you can't always prove the spiritual, you can't prove the experiential stuff all the time. So it's more like things that we experience, phenomena that we experience, and it's our own relationship to the universe and God and nature. Everyone's is so unique. Hamza, what am I watching just now? We're talking about spirituality, Hamza. If you're interested in it, then you're welcome here. If you don't like it, then that's okay. Rusted wrench. Is there a non? Do you think this is the reason? Is there none? Do you think this is the reason people think spirituality is myth or something like that? Sorry? What do you mean? Is there is there none? Hey Lucy, welcome. Welcome back. Nice to see you. Is none. Am I reading this wrong? I don't think I am. Okay. Labour Party. I don't know. Allah said, I did not create jinn and mankind except to worship me. Hey Lucy. Hi Donnie. Welcome. The idea of God having a face or name is ridiculous to me. Well, I don't know. I don't think it has a face. I think God is just everything. Everything. Tripster, bang. Bang to you. I think you missed the previous question, or YouTube took that down. What was it? Sorry, if you want to repeat it, then I invite you to. Okay, verily, in the remembrance of Allah do our hearts find rest. I do interpret that on a spiritual level in terms of when we remember the divinity and within ourselves, then we are in peace. And what I experience that as is when I remember myself as a soul and not just this body, these thoughts, these feelings, and I'm able to access the peace of the present moment because our true self resides in the present moment. That's when we are able to be at peace. So that's how I would understand that verse from the Quran. Exactly, the gods are everything they are. The elements, they are many gods. Beautiful. Amy, could you please show us some of magic again? Could you see my aura, or is it too limited online if I get some? Hannah, tell me if there's like loads of stuffed animals in your room. Or like you have some sort of connection with stuffed animals, because I don't know why I see them when I see your name. If Amy can't get to your question, okay, hello, Amy. Hi, Manthan, welcome. Hannah, you said, can you see my aura, or is it too limited online? I don't necessarily see auras, but I do see impressions. Like I said earlier, I see images. Like for you, I see them stuffed animals. And then like when I was talking to Zine the other day and I saw the flowers and she had the picture of the flower on her wall, like I just get instant images, and I just have to trust them because I've been seeing stuffed animals when you come on, like since a few lives. And I was going to say it before, but then I just thought, as you asked, I'll tell you now. So I said to you before, remember when you said before about like, what's the kind of read you get on like my personality, my energy, and I said about how I felt this like kind of youthful energy. I was seeing the stuffed animals and I was like, it's youthful and playful, and yeah. So that's really cool that you confirmed that for me. And this is what I mean, guys, about the psychic stuff. Like, I get these confirmations ever since I've been telling people them. Like, I'm sweating now and I'm like, oh, I get all these chills. It's so cool. Okay. Our souls need the nutrition of the soul world. Remembering Allah will increase your peace, but also your gratitude. The elements have no power to harm you or benefit you except as Allah allows. Thank you, Truth Claim. Amy, what do you see in my room? Manthan. Oh, okay. Well, it says F1, so now I'm like, does he have an F1 poster? I don't know, man. Then I don't know why a picture of a spider just came to me, but I don't know what that means. What was to do with a spider? You may have a strong soul that sense jinns might be bothering you. Amy, what do you see in my room? Guys, this is hilarious. Stop. I can't do. Okay, Tim. I see a computer. Honestly, like half the time I'm saying this, I'm like, I could literally, I don't know if you guys are gonna be like, what are you talking about? But like, I see a computer with a keyboard with chunky keys. Tell me if that's wrong, though. Like, tell me. I'm sweating. I don't normally do this. This is my, like, I'm not used to doing this, you know? It's only since I started going live that I'm sharing my impressions with you guys. Okay, this is my personal opinion. Sorry if I offended Odin. Was that the only person to truly speak to the gods? Maybe Jesus as well. I don't know person, but I don't know. I do have a F1 poster. Fuck. That's jokes. That's crazy. Well, it does say F1 in your name, so like kind of like helped with the intuition, but still it's all intuition, you know, we're getting information from every like way you can like I don't know. But Tim, tell me if I was right about the computer, please. If not, I'll see. Actually, I do have a computer in my room. Ah, guys. This is making me fucking laugh. I love how this is just proof of psychic abilities that I can keep on my YouTube forever. Let's see if there's anything else though. I feel like I want to get more specific. Thank you, Manthan. Yes, thanks for the sub. I'm sweating, honestly. Like I'm sweating from all this stuff. Like, yeah. You're saying most people have a computer in their room? I don't have a computer in my room. And also I have a laptop. So, Tim, is it like a full-on desktop computer? Because that's what I'm seeing. But Rusted Wrench, I know you're like skeptical, and that's okay. I like that we have some skeptical people in here because it's good when people are like, you know, asking questions and stuff. It's all good, it's all welcome. Amy, I was just testing your theory. What do you mean? No, I don't have a computer in my room because I have a laptop, so I take it all in different rooms. It's not like I have a desktop set up, you know. Some people have desktop set up. Jesus called Allah in Arabic. Do you know Arabic? I don't know Arabic. Insulting God's word. It believes in the Most High. What were you testing my theory with, Tim? Her psychic powers are making her sweat. They are. They're making me sweat. It's because they're making me nervous, honestly. I don't know why though. If it's not real, it's not real. Like I'm just testing it with you guys. Let's see if I can guess what's in Rusted Wrench's room, and then we can really freak you out. Let's see. Actually, I won't do it if you don't want me to. Like that's weird. Only if I get the invitation, you know. I think people actually have to ask as well, maybe, for me to even get an impression. Actually, I don't know. That's not true because sometimes I just get weird impressions. Like when I'm seeing people walking down the street, and like look at someone, I can just feel their energy field. It's weird though that I can. Do you know what actually blows my mind is like me getting an impression from just your handles because I can't see you guys. I don't know what you look like. It's literally just your handles, and some of your handles are literally like they're not even real names. Like they're not your real names. So I'm like, how is that? I don't even know. It's crazy. It's mind blowing to me. It Yes, Tim, it is a full desktop computer. I love that. I love that. I have Tim as like a gamer in my mind. I feel like he likes games on his desktop computer. Tell me if I'm wrong. How do you email someone? Do you just manifest that message into someone's head? Was like about sometimes. Okay, hilariously, actually, I was talking about this in one of my other lives. How you can mind message people, and I do often mind message people. And you can do that definitely. And I have proof. Like me and my friend, like for me, I have proof. Like me and my friends were testing it and doing it, and especially when you have someone that is also, I don't know if they have to be like also open to psychic stuff. I don't know. Maybe you can just do it to anyone, but I do also just send normal emails. But the reason why I will like send someone a psychic message is either like to see if it works, which I've done in the past. It's like called someone to come over to me and then they have, and then I'm like, oh, you got my mind message, or tried to get someone to call me on the phone, just because for me it's like if they want to call me, they will call me. I don't, and like sometimes, especially if it's like a man, for example, if it's a guy, I personally think the divine feminine power, one of the powers of the divine feminine is we are very intuitive, like more likely to be very intuitive and tapped into the psychic realms. So we are able to draw into us. It's like a flower as well. It's like we have this ability to attract into us and like pull into us what we desire or what we want. So when it comes to a guy, if a guy is interested in you and you mind message him, he will most likely text you or call you. But if he's not interested and you try to mind message him, then he's probably not going to do it. So that's why I'm like, look, I'll call you with my mind messages, and if you're into me, then you'll call me or you'll text me. But like if you're, I know that you're getting the mind message. So if you're like saying no to it, then I know that you're not, and you didn't call me. Then I'm like, he's either not tapped in. I don't know. I don't think it's not tapped in, but he's either, yeah, like off in his own realms, like not really, like just not focused on me, not really that interested. And so I could message him in that point and I could be like, hey, but my intuition is like, if he's meant to message me, he'll get the mind message and message me, because yeah, that's just how I do things. Do you believe? Okay, hang on, let me read some of these comments. Okay, Rusted Wrench wants me to do his room. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can pick anything up. Or just any in your energy field, okay? Okay, the first thing that came is like fighting. Like, do you do boxing or something? Do you do like some kind of martial arts? I don't know. Rusted Wrench for sure has an anime waifu pillow. What's that? Do you believe some people can be witches, like spirituality? I think that witches is a term that was created by, I don't know, is it like a Christian? It was a thing created by Christians to basically suppress the divine feminine, because I think witches has a lot of negative connotations. Like it's seen as demonic, it's seen as like devilish in the in Christianity, and I honestly think it was a way to suppress the power of the feminine, because I think that technically we're all like, the things that they say are bad, like the things that witches do that are bad, I think a lot of it is actually we're just very connected to nature. And the whole potions thing, I personally think like herbalism is literally just witchcraft, because you are creating potions when you're making herbal teas and stuff. It's literally, it's the it's the magic of science. We're able to alchemize and create different um reactions from like chemical reactions from mixing different compounds and different substances together. So I do believe that is just magic, to be honest. How do you know that, Mantha? Okay, wait, let's see. Amy, I play games on my computer. Yes. I love it. See? When Outlook doesn't work, we use Amy's mind emails. Yeah, when that guys, if we do have an internet blackout, like let's just we all need to meditate and just communicate through the telepathic realms, okay? Trust what comes through. Is there any spells to bag a goth mummy? I mean, I don't know personally. Never tried to do that, but I'm sure there are. Amy, do you think I'm a gamer? Hannah Lucy. I mean, I do now that you ask me. Did Rusted Wrench ever confirm if he likes fighting? Okay, yeah, you said you like fighting games. Okay, well, maybe that was what it was. You've got fighting in your energy field, so maybe that's why it came to me straight away. Where are you from? Speak vid. Speak vid? I'm from England, Henry Blaw. Where are you from? Speak vid? Can't decide on name. Welcome back. Hey, Amy, I'm testing your inner ability. I've been thinking of a number all day. Can you guess the number? It's 22. You just told me, but thank you. But 22 is like it's my angel number, my spiritual number. So maybe you knew. There is a ghost in your room. Well, there's probably a ghost in everyone's room, really. It's a wifey pillow, but in a Japanese sense. What? What's that? Manthan, she's in the UK, but she's in the spiritual plane. I'm in both, honey. I'm existing in both realms. Gang, I would I would learn witchcraft from her and bag all goth mummies in this world. You can get all the goths mummies that you want, Rusted Wrench. I support you. As long as you're doing it with love and care and honor, then I think you can do it. Hi, Anderson. Welcome. Amy, can you guess my lucky number? Is it 18? Or it might be 6976. Rusted Wrench, you know you said you play fighting games. Did you mean like martial arts games? Like do you play UFC on the Xbox or something or PlayStation? Or is it like more shooting? Because I specifically got the martial arts image of like a guy like in his pants, like it's not 18, damn. I find numbers a really hard thing to guess. Like I don't feel like numbers come to me. Oh, actually, it did happen once when we were doing card games, telepathy games with the cards. So I don't know. Should I guess again? Tim, try to send me the number and try to imagine me saying it, and maybe I'll pick it up. I don't feel like I'm getting anything, honestly. Amy just called me slurs in one of her mind messages. That was not me, so I don't know. My lucky number is between 1 and 10. Oh my god, is it 5? Is it 2? Guys, stop asking me to guess numbers. I don't like guessing numbers. I don't feel like I'm good at guessing numbers. Lily Hodgson. I don't know your number, honestly. 10 out of 1, that's your number? You're getting colder. It's not my expertise, guys. I used to play Street Fighter. Let me just look at what Street Fighter looks like because I want to see if it's what I could see in my mind. Is the person in Street Fighter that you play with like just got pants on? Like with like bandages around their hands or something? See, guys, this is proving that like the stuff that's around us, the stuff that we engage in, it is in our energy field. People can pick up on it. They don't even like subconsciously, but obviously people that are more tapped in with their psychic senses can actually consciously tap into things if they've actually taught themselves and developed it. And we can all develop it if we want to. I was saying this to someone the other day, is that we all are connected to the psychic realms, but only some of us are going to choose to develop our psychic senses. Just like we can all technically, like especially if our full body is working, we could all play basketball, but only some of us are going to actually do that or are going to be more inclined to do that, you know, have the interest, have the faculties that are going to drive, like we're just naturally good at it. So that's what some people that are psychics, they might be more naturally good at it, but you can also develop it. Like I wasn't born, well, I was born with like psychic abilities. I didn't know that I was also taken away from my psychic abilities as I grew up because it's not normal in our society for us to be taught that the imagination realms are like the psychic realms. We're not taught all that. We're taught that our imagination is not real and like it makes you suppress it. And we're also not taught to really use and be in touch with our spiritual nature. So for me, it was like a thing where I didn't realize that the stuff that I was seeing when I was a kid was spiritual. I just thought it was not real, and I didn't think that it was spiritual. So as I got older and I started to learn about psychic phenomena, and I love to like really learn about it, that's when I started to develop these things. And it was only even like recently that I started to actually consciously develop it, whereas before I was doing it kind of subconsciously, honestly. It was just part of my path. I used to play street. Oh yeah, I already read that one. Amy, have you seen the near-death experience from Heather May? Oh, I don't know. Let me check. I'll know when I see her face. Let's see. If not, I'll watch it tonight because I love a bloody near-death experience video. I have seen this lady, I think. I recognise her. Oh, yes, I have. Look, I'll show you because the red line is all the way. So I have seen it. I can't remember this one though. What happens in it? But maybe I'll watch it again later. Is it good? How are you today? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I subbed. Thank you, Lily. You saw Paul from Tekken. Paul from Tekken. Let me see. Were you playing with Paul? Okay, no, that's not what he looked like in my mind. It's hilarious. Projecting Divinity. I love this name. The handle. Which town do you live in? I can't tell you that. Not online. Amy, can you predict when I'm going to be a dictator of this world and establish a new world order and finally bring peace to it? Dictator? I'm not sure about the word dictator. A dictator of peace? Can you really dictate peace upon people? I feel like you can invite it. But look, I'm here fully supporting you to bring peace to the earth. This is what I'm trying to do as well, so Was not trying, sorry. That's what I'm doing, not trying. I read in this book the other day, or listened to Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. It's very good. It's actually a channeling from the Pleiadians, which is very esoteric, but I love to listen to the Pleiadian work. I find it's very light coded and beautiful and psychic. So it says in it that whenever you say, I try to do something, you are actually saying that I can't do it. So eliminate the words I'm trying from your vocabulary and just say I am doing. It's powerful. What you're saying is you're the LeBron James of the psychic. Well, no, I'm not saying that. That's hilarious. Maybe one day I will be, though. I believe. I believe I could be. You never know. Rusted in like, yeah, rusted wrench. Oh, finding another. Okay. Okay, Tim, enjoy. You're the one who got me into them, Amy. What did I get you into? They're called lovely vid. I just found it so funny how he said vid. You are so weird. I love it. I recently started. Oh, lost it. I recently started playing Mount and Blade Bannerlord. It's the best game ever. It's RPG. You go from no ones to king who conquer the world. You need to raise troops and fight alongside them. Love that for you. Love that for you. Not something that I would be into, but I find it funny how people are so into like all these games and stuff. It's just not me. There's one game that I like. Okay, I played it on my. No, there's so many games that I like actually. I love SSX. It was like an old school classic one, and I also love. There's this game where you have a dog and you have to like protect the dog. What's it called? Mava or something? Has anyone heard of this? It's such a beautiful game. Or Nava. I'll show you guys. I played this game at my friend's house the other day. Oh, look, this is the artwork of this game. It's so pretty. And then you have this dog, right? Oh my god, it's so cool. But I don't know why the dog is so big here. It must grow, but you have this dog and you get to look after it and it's so fun. And then there's like loads of like, I don't know, demons trying to kill it, and then you have to protect the dog. But it's very like also very relaxing game. Nice music and scenes and artwork. So I like that because it's not so stimulating. I don't like really overstimulating stuff, but I don't mind COD. It's quite fun sometimes. But I'm not very good at it. Unless it's a mobile version. Can you sense my height? I already know your height because you told us you were 5'2" the other day. Lemon Drizzle, where are you from? I'm from England. Where are you from? I have a question. May I ask it? Of course you can, Amir. So polite. You don't need to even ask if you can ask a question. Just ask. How are you today? I'm good, thank you. Hi, Daniel. Okay, yeah. Oh, Hannah, you got into the near-death experience videos from me. Yes. How are you finding them? Are you enjoying it? What are my plans today? I don't have any plans. I'm just here. Just out here. Going with the flow. Okay. Amy, why don't you go to talent shows and win all the prizes with your psychic abilities, or you could be the greatest magician there ever was. I don't know. I don't really want to go on a talent show and do that. It's so funny. Do you have a you've played the Naver game? I love that. Do you have a Nintendo Switch? No, I don't. Hi, Elconic plays. Reading about space and time lately and being bound by the laws. while inside it, how gravity, speed of light, all of that jazz affects space and time. And if we manipulate it, we can change reality. Wow. But this is the thing, can we manipulate it? I don't know if we can. Also, there's so many laws. If you're interested in like universal law, you should look up the Hermetic principles. Can you turn water into wine? No. What do you do for a living? I actually do a lot of things. I have many different streams of income. Um, so I'll tell you, I'm first and foremost, I'm a spiritual teacher and a spiritual coach, and also I love to make videos and I love to talk about spirituality and hold events and work with people to one. I also have a cleaning business. I also do dog sitting as well, look after dogs. Um, yeah, I create many things. I'm an entrepreneur. She's already sweating from showing her talents to imagine her on a talent show. Exactly, man. That's how I felt when someone said that. Because I was like, no, not on the mainstream, please. That would be. I don't think my psychic abilities. I don't even know if that would work because I'd get so fucking nervous, and then I'd be overthinking, and I wouldn't be able to actually. But maybe not. I need to give myself some credit. Maybe I'd be able to stay really focused. I just don't think that mainstream TV is the place for this stuff, you know? I really don't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to be there. We need to know, Amy. Oh, Neva, it's a wolf after it grows. I never saw that. I never knew that she grows. I didn't get that far. Where are the Rusted Wrench? Do you want to be a mod and help keep this chat in the vibrations that we want it? I mean, I've already got some mods. You're doing great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I actually feel like it's something that is really cool how you guys want to keep the chat, you know, how we want it. Like, that's something that I really appreciate because it helps us have more fun, honestly, when we're talking about these things. I don't think you need any more mods. Okay, Rusted Wrench. We probably don't. Maybe one day we'll need more. Amy, is there a difference between gaslighting and manifesting? Yes. Gaslighting and manifesting is not the same thing. What gaslighting is when someone how do you explain? Okay. Gaslighting is when someone like manipulates you to believe that something you're seeing, you're not seeing. So maybe something you're feeling, they will like manipulate you to believe that you're not actually feeling that, or your sense is not accurate. That's gaslighting. Or maybe they'll like make you believe that you're going crazy when actually your sense is right, but they don't want to admit to it. Or yeah, manifesting is just a natural phenomena of this universe. Everything is being manifested all the time. Everything is a manifestation of a thought. Everything that was created was a manifestation of a thought. Every word that you say is a manifestation of a thought. Thoughts are manifestations. I don't know where they're coming from. Do you? it's interesting to think about that. Like, where do these thoughts actually come from? Where does the impressions that I get come from? This is where like it's so weird. But this is why I do truly, when I really think about it, and I like, if I tap into my higher self will be like, okay, the impressions that you get are basically, we are all tapped into the collective consciousness. We're all tapped into the subconscious realms. We're all connected in the psychic realms. And so that's where it's coming from. It's like when I am seeing your handle, or if I see someone, I am connecting to, I am just consciously connecting to your energy field that we're all connected into. Do you snore when you sleep? I don't think so. I mean, I'm sleeping. I used to snore, but I started to learn to breathe through my nose and then I stopped snoring. This is my troll account. Rusted Wrench, can I just say something to you? Like, with all love, like, please be careful when you're trolling because, you know, when you send harm out to others, you do feel the harm yourself first. And so it's important that we're really careful with what energy we're sending out. Because it's also going to be in your energy field when you're doing that. But take it or leave it, you know. But I enjoy your calm and like this side of you. I don't remember experiencing you trolling, but I really enjoy you in this chat, and so you don't need to troll. That's something that I love to explain to people is like, if you want to feel love, like you can send love out to others. Like you feel it first. You are the source of the love. If you send anything harmful out to others, like if you send harmful thought, and we're doing this unconsciously sometimes, it's like we might have a harmful thought that we're sending to someone else, but we actually feel it before they do. They might not even feel it, or they might notice if they're really highly conscious. They can feel that you're maybe sending negative energy towards them. But if they're really conscious, it's just gonna like literally bounce off them or flow through them. Unconscious people, though, if you're in an unconscious state and you can feel negative energy or harmful words coming from someone, then it's going to affect you. You're going to like unconsciously it might trigger you or send you into a negative spiral. But the person that is sending out that negative energy is also going to be affected by that. They're going to be affected by it first and foremost. And so it's so powerful when we use our minds in a loving way. We end up creating such a beautiful aura around us when we're sending love out to others. And then we end up attracting people into our lives that are more supportive, more loving, like 10 out of 10 humans. They want to be around you because your energy field is magnetic, it's beautiful. Whereas if you're sending out a lot of negativity, then you're going to attract people that are going to allow that energy, that are also, you know, either they're not, they haven't got enough self-love and their boundaries aren't very good, or they are also on that frequency where they might be sending a lot of harm out with their words or their actions. So you really are, we are mirrors of, like, everything's mirroring our state of consciousness. Is it Saturday? It is, isn't it? Okay, space-time theory relating to Jesus. If he existed, being God in the flesh, he would be inside of space and time. And outside of it, he interacts with the law, but not beyond it. But not bound by it. Yes, no, I agree with that. I think that's how I see it as well. First, we have to think, and then only does something we've thought about emerge. Exactly. Experience always follows thought, never in the other way around. How do we find inner peace? Inner peace is found by being in the present moment, by finding inner stillness. So many spiritual teachers talk about this. The kingdom of heaven is within you, said Jesus. Why did you decide to become a witch? I did not decide to become a witch. It was never a decision that I made. I never trolled you, Amy. Once I did say something to some other viewer about you meditating, so you didn't notice my existence. Fair. You seem to know a lot. Have you achieved it through academic studies or by yourself? Both. I am always, like, for the last 10 years, I've been very interested in spirituality. So I read a lot of spiritual books. I engage with a lot of spiritual content. For me, it's like a fucking really special interest that I love. And then also I do the practices that I learn about. So I've been meditating consistently for years. And it's become part of it's like something I just do. That if I don't do it, then I haven't not meditated in a while, but I really do feel the benefits of meditation. And so I really, really just have, and I feel the benefits of meditating as well through like years of devotion to it, because just continue to learn and it compounds. These consistent efforts compound. Did you get an invitation from Hogwarts? Not yet. Hopefully soon. Sending you love from the Highlands of Scotland. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the Scottish Highlander. Sending you love too. What are light workers? Light workers are, they are souls that have come to this earth to bring more light to the earth, essentially. It's a term that describes someone that is here to bring more light. Light workers also tend to be more in their light energy. And there's many different types of light workers. You also have shadow workers that are here to, I also believe that shadow workers are light workers because they're bringing light to the shadowy parts. So, but light workers, you might, because these are like terms that different people, I've heard different people use, but essentially, yeah, a light worker is someone that is a soul that has come to earth specifically to bring more light to the earth. And often they are, and this is where it gets a little bit esoteric, they have come from different star systems, from different they have, their soul is basically, actually, it's maybe like an extraterrestrial, like a um alien race. Like, have you heard of the Pleiadians, for example? The Pleiadians are a race, or a alien race, that comes from the star system Pleiades. I love how so many people just dropped off from this chat when I started talking about aliens. And yeah, it's very esoteric and maybe not something that everyone's into, but yeah, a lot of the time light workers do come from um these places, and also they have past lives that are that were in times on earth where there was a lot more harmony. And so they have these light codes in their DNA. They have all these light codes in their soul that they're choosing to bring here at this time to raise the vibration of the planet. But that's like the esoteric version, you know? I feel like anyone that is here to just bring more consciousness to the planet, bring more love to the planet is a light worker, honestly. You don't really need to go into all of the like where did I come from like like past lives or like where my soul originates from. That is something that I think will happen naturally on your spiritual journey if you I never really went into that in the beginning. I was more like very skeptical about it and I didn't really care to learn about that stuff. I only started learning about it when I felt like I was being guided to learn about it. And then when I would be guided to learn about it, I would get very specific messages that were guiding me to develop my psychic senses, to develop my they were just guiding me on my spiritual path. And the messages that I would get would be so synchronistic to the things that I was experiencing in my life that I was like, fuck. They must like I don't know how esoteric I want to get on here, but like it's something that I don't really speak about, honestly, out loud, but I really do feel like I've been communicated to by these extraterrestrial beings through the telepathic realms, honestly. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is, yeah, I do believe that is happening. And I've had some really crazy things happen and interesting stories that I never went seeking for, honestly. I didn't ever try to like prove that, or it's just happened that I'm like, interesting. How does karma from past lives reflect into this life? I don't know, honestly, the answer to that question. How does karma from past lives reflect into this life? I did hear a spiritual teacher once say that sometimes if we are in a past life, let's say that like you were an animal in a past life in like on like a farm and it was like you were being slaughtered, you might then choose to have the opposite experience, to experience being like the farmer, for example, and do that. That could be, I don't know if that's karma, but I also think that karma is more to do with like our patterns and conditioning. So if we become really conscious, we can kind of rise above our karma and we don't have to keep playing out karma. Like we're not bound by it. And also, yes, karma is connected to like cause and effect. So the seeds that I'm planting the seeds that I'm planting and I'm tending to are going to are going to have, sorry, the plants that grow are going to depend on what seeds I am planting and tending to. So that is an element of karma, is like experiencing the seeds that you've planted in the past and tended to. But also, karma is to do with, and that is all to do with conditioning and what the contents of our mind and our subconscious mind as well. Because the seeds that we're planting, and this is all, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about it from a metaphysical perspective, a spiritual perspective. Like not necessarily the physical seeds that we're planting, but the seeds being our thoughts. What thoughts and beliefs are we tending to? What actions are we taking that are a manifestation from our thoughts? Happy birthday, Olivia Sims. What exactly is a spiritual coach? Is it connected to any religion? No, I'm not religious. So I basically intuitively help people to connect back to their intuition by clearing anything that is blocking that process, because we all naturally are always connected to our intuition, our higher self. The higher self is like the blue sky. It's always there. But what happens is our mind is creating thoughts. And when we're not aware of it, the mind is really creating so many thoughts that cloud up the blue sky. And so the whole process is a process of bringing you to a peaceful, calm state by clearing the mind so that you can access your higher self and gain more clarity so that you feel like you are more clear on your purpose in life. You know what you're here to do. And we can oscillate in and out of that. Sometimes we have days where the fear starts to creep in and we might be like, oh my God, am I on the right path? What am I doing? Like, how do I know I'm on the right path? But there's certain techniques that you can do, and there's certain ways to clear that fear and get to the root of what it is that is stopping you from really connecting with your higher self and being in this state of like, I know what I'm doing, I know what I need to do, I know what I'm here to do, and I'm going to follow this next step. And it's always just one step that we need to take in the moment. And the intuition always knows what that one step is, even if that one step is for this moment to just sit and do nothing. Often we need to take that step. Often we need to just sit, and the intuition, the higher self, will direct us to please just sit and listen to your body. But most of us are not doing that. We're skipping over this part. We're avoiding what is in our internal realms. Because as soon as we sit down to rest, and we truly rest by really listening to our bodies, that's when our feelings start to come to the surface. We start to really feel our feelings. So we're kind of conditioned to avoid the feelings. And it's taking us off of our true path. When we don't listen to our feelings, we become out of alignment because our feelings are always telling us what we're thinking. And I read this this is one of the books, one of the Bringers of the Dawn, the book I was reading the other day, the one that was Pleiadian teachings. It was saying that people that are in a victim mindset are not noticing the connection between their feelings and their thoughts. Try to understand that from the body level. Like when I'm reading a spiritual text or spiritual books, I'm reading it with my whole body. I'm not reading it from the mind level. Like you need to drop down into the body to understand certain spiritual concepts because you want to understand them from a deeper felt intuitive sense with a clear mind instead of trying to understand it from the mind. If you try to understand spiritual concepts from the mind, it won't really compute. Like it can be very confusing and it will be more of like a surface level understanding if you do understand anything. So you want to drop all your attention down into the body when you're reading anything spiritual or even listening to what I'm saying. Try to not listen to this with the mind. Just listen to it with your body and see how it feels. That's what I was saying about your intuition always know what the next step is. Like right now, I'm listening to what's coming through. It's like a channel, like it's like a flow of words that I just allow to come out. And then when that sentence has come to a finish, it comes to a finish. And then it's like, okay, next step. What do I do now? And in the moment, we always know what the next step is. Like I was saying before, sometimes the next step is to just sit. For me, I need quiet time. I really need quiet time. It's the only way for me to get regulated, to regulate my system. You'll know you're unregulated. You'll know your nervous system is unregulated if you feel drained, if you feel depressed, if you feel depleted, if you feel like you're losing energy, you're slipping into anxiety or fear mindsets, you're noticing yourself becoming very you're noticing thoughts and feelings, or you're noticing feelings that are connected to fearful thoughts, then you need to regulate your nervous system. You need to bring yourself back to a state of calm because that's where you can really listen to your higher self again. The higher self is calm, the higher self is clear, the higher self is existing in a state of peace. So if you're not feeling that, if you're feeling very anxious and you're feeling out of whack, you're feeling like drained, you need to bring yourself back to your center. That's why meditation is so powerful. Is it okay to sell my soul for a cheeseburger, or am I underselling it? You're definitely underselling. You're definitely underselling. I wouldn't sell your soul for anything. You don't need to. When someone is selling their soul, they've forgotten their true nature. They've forgotten their divine power. They think they need to sell a part of themselves to get something. But that's not true. You don't need to do that. When you sell a part of yourself to get something, there's always a negative payoff. You're giving yourself, you're going to be out of alignment in some way. I know it was a funny question and you were like kind of joking, but it also like gave me some inspiration. So, hi, Kayan. Welcome back. Hannah Lucy, you've given me a lot more to think about. Actually, it was worth mentioning for us that are new to this. Yay! Good. How to sell a soul, bro? Please sell my soul. My life is shit. Okay, look. The way I see selling your soul, it's like you're basically going against a part of yourself. There's a part of yourself that is trying to tell you something it wants or something that it doesn't want, and you're going against it. You're basically not listening to yourself. But you are going against a part of yourself because you are in fear that if you don't go against yourself, you're never going to get what you want. So a lot of people are selling their soul to make money, for example. They are doing things that are not in alignment, that are draining them, that are making them feel disempowered. Like this whole OnlyFans movement, like I see so many women are selling their soul through doing OnlyFans, and maybe not everyone. There are certain people that their soul has actually come here to do that work, genuinely, because it's helping some people in some way, and that is a beautiful part. And so I'm not saying that OnlyFans is bad. I'm not saying that sex work is bad. But what it is a lot of people are selling their soul through this kind of work because it's not actually in alignment for them to do it. But it's very like it pulls on people that are vulnerable and that don't believe that they can make money doing what their soul actually wants them to do, what their soul actually came here to do. So they sell that part of themselves, meaning they neglect that part of themselves, the part of themselves that is like saying, I want to be a musician, for example. There might be a tiny little whisper in their soul that's like, I want to do music. I want to be a musician. But then the fear comes in and it's like, oh, you're never going to be able to do that. Someone offers you money to do like take your clothes off and do this stuff. And it's not really in alignment, but the fear is basically controlling you. And so you decide to do that. And then as you do that, you get further and further out of alignment, further and further disempowered because you're just telling yourself that you're not good enough. Basically, you're acting on you're acting on the belief that I'm not good enough. And so you're going to continue to feel not good enough until you wake up, because the universe will continue to basically put you in situations that make you feel worse and worse until you wake up. So that's why a lot of people have spiritual awakenings when they hit rock bottom. They realize, fuck, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep doing this to myself anymore. And that's when they finally wake up and actually do what they came here to do. But what we want to do, and this is what my work is as well, is trying to get people to wake up before they get to that point. Before you get to that point of hitting rock bottom, because you've come so out of alignment that your life is not reflecting how you want it to actually be. You're surrounding yourself with energies that aren't actually what you want. And we can get so deep into that when we're not listening to ourselves. And so we want to start listening to ourselves before we get to rock bottom, before the universe sends you a massive hit on the head to wake up, because that's not going to be fun. You know? Where can I start my spiritual journey from? I know virtually nothing about it. Max, it sounds like you're starting your spiritual journey right now. You know, for some reason, you've been attracted or you've been sent to this live, and we're all talking about spiritual stuff, and you're interested in it clearly, and so your spiritual journey has begun. It already has, and you can continue. But if you want me to point you to some actual physical, like, places to start, which I would always recommend, is to read or listen to Eckhart Tolle's teachings. He is an amazing spiritual teacher, and he really he's just a beautiful soul, a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I love his teachings because they're so clear and he's so present and conscious. So The Power of Now or A New Earth are really good books, but you can also watch his YouTube channel. I watch his YouTube channel. He's the only YouTube channel that I am paying for right now because it's just so good. How are you dealing with loneliness and eye floaters? Are they related to each other? What is an eye floater? Let me check. Okay, small specks, dots, cobweb-like shapes that drift through your field of vision. I'm not sure about that with the eye floaters thing, because I'm not sure that's something I've experienced. But dealing with loneliness, honestly, is something the way that I deal with loneliness is to feel. So what I know, this happened to me the other day, okay? Loneliness can be very difficult because we are social beings and we are currently living in a very individualistic setup. We've set ourselves up so that we are able to just live alone, basically, and that's not good for our nervous systems. We are not meant to be living alone. We are meant to be in tribes and community. And so it's actually very normal for us to feel lonely or alone. And so when we feel that, it's important that we allow ourselves to feel that, because that will, for one, give us the motivation to find community and find our people. Okay, if we are avoiding our loneliness, then we are not going to come up with the creative insights that are going to drive us to really meet that need for ourselves. It's a need. It's a need for social connection or intimacy or love, or all of these needs that we genuinely need. So when we feel the loneliness, then we can start to notice, okay, I'm feeling lonely right now. That means I am in need of social human connection. And so what can I do to fill that need for myself? I can tomorrow ask my friends to meet, or if I haven't got any friends right now, I can start looking at ways that I can start making new friends, people that I really enjoy. Maybe that's go to events or go to, I don't know, whatever way comes to your mind, you know. Another way to deal with loneliness is also, again, it comes back to feeling, because when we like get lonely, it's really normal for us to start thinking about past situations where we were with people. Maybe we were in relationships in the past. For example, you might start thinking about your ex, and it might trigger this kind of urge to text someone that you have moved on from. That's very normal. But what we want to do is catch ourselves in that moment and not act on those impulses, because we're emotional. We're not really acting from a clear state. So if, for example, you are feeling lonely and you're getting the urge to try and call everyone and talk to someone, fair enough, you want to talk to someone. What I usually realize, though, what usually happens to me is if I'm feeling really lonely and I try to call loads of people, no one's really answering. And I take that as a sign that the universe doesn't want me to talk to anyone right now. The universe wants me to feel what's going on inside of my body. And sometimes we're forced into situations where we have no choice but to just feel. And or what will happen is we'll try to avoid the feeling by watching TV or, doing something. But like, it could be anything. So I will go into the feeling, and what I notice every time I really, really go into the feeling of loneliness, I increase the relationship to my higher self. I increase my self-love, because whilst I'm feeling the loneliness, I am sending compassion into the loneliness, and I'm saying to myself, I'm completely here with you now. Or do shadow work with it so that you're bringing that part of yourself up into the light. It's really all about really being present with what is alive in your body. I think a lot of the time we could feel shame for feeling lonely, or we could feel like there's something wrong with us because we're feeling lonely. But if you can just remind yourself that it's really normal to feel lonely. especially in this time that we are living in. Okay? Your body is working perfectly fine. It's working exactly how it's meant to. It's just that that part of you wants to be felt. And as a human species, as we are social beings, many of us are feeling lonely. And what is that telling us as a species? If we're all feeling very lonely a lot of the time, it means that we need to work on our relationships together. If we all keep avoiding our loneliness, how are we ever going to come up with solutions to the loneliness that we are creating or that we are feeling? Okay, Daniel Roman, we are not from this world. I have a big journey in the past and we will keep going into the future. Okay, let me go down. I want to see what the comments are saying. Psst, 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 psst. She reminds me of my brain when I've had a bottle of vodka. That's hilarious. Okay. Also, when I'm talking about loneliness, like I also really like being alone. There's a lot of the times, like I love to be alone. I love my own quiet times. Sometimes though, I feel the loneliness, and that's okay. And it's just telling me something in that moment that like something I need. I had eye floaters when I interacted with people every day. Now I don't speak to anyone. Eye floaters. Interesting. I've never really heard of eye floaters. I think I know what you mean though. Okay. You don't get them anymore. Okay. Amy, if there is a spiritual awakening, is there also a spiritual D what death? Oh, okay, spiritual death. Yeah. We're always constantly okay. So the death and rebirth recycle, the death and rebirth cycle is part of the experience of nature. Like we experience death and rebirth in this realm all the time. So if you look at spiritual awakening like the rebirth, it's you're waking something up in yourself. This can happen on a large scale and a small scale. It's that we are remembering something. We are remembering our true nature. Spiritual death is the part that comes just before that. So often, what happens when we go for a death, a spiritual death, is that we have just experienced a level of unconsciousness or something has come up to the surface. So it's like, and this, the spiritual maturity part of it is where you can start to allow for this cycle to happen at a much more at a quicker rate, where when you're going through the spiritual death part, and it's going to happen differently for everyone, and also different stages in your life are going to be sometimes more difficult, sometimes last more longer, sometimes last longer. So when we have a death, it's like we usually we are like oscillating from being going into unconsciousness, and then that unconsciousness pushes us into a level of consciousness because it's very painful to be unconscious. It's like it's it's causing suffering when we are attached to um beliefs that are out of alignment with our soul. So when we are very much identified with these negative beliefs about ourselves and fears, then we are kind of spiritually asleep. Well, we're spiritually asleep. We're not awake. And so then we go through a death, which is like this part where we shed this part of ourselves, and then we go through a rebirth and we wake up. It's like, it's literally so symbolic of our lives. We go through our life, and then we die, and then we get reborn again. And then it's happening in nature all the time. It's happening with the seasons. Every year there is a autumn. And in autumn, this is when the cycle of destruction starts to happen. I was listening to what it was saying in Bringers of the Dawn the other day when I was listening to it, that if someone lived in a country where there was only summer, they would be very disturbed by the sight of autumn. And so when you understand that destruction and death is part of nature, then you're not going to fear it as much, because it is just it's a natural part. And this is also something that humanity is currently experiencing as a collective. We're going through a rebirth. But we're actually right now in this period where there's a lot of darkness coming up. So it's like just before the awakening, and the awakening has happened, and because it's happening on such a large scale, it's happening over time. But we're seeing all of the unconscious and the fear that is coming up, that has been in our subconscious, that has been in our collective subconscious for so long. There's a lot of darkness coming out that is being purged. And so in order for us to go to the rebirth, we have to see that. We have to become aware of it so that we can choose into something else, choose differently. I need to wait to fall to be spiritually resurrected. It's not that you need to wait to fall. No, you can choose to be conscious in any moment. And when you are conscious, you will start to notice that there are certain patterns or cycles that are being played out in your human experience, because you can't transcend being a human. Like, we didn't come here to transcend being a human. You didn't come into a human body to not experience being a human. So you can't escape that. You don't want to escape that. But you just start to become conscious of this cycle of discovering parts of you in your subconscious that aren't you. They come up, and we're always being presented with new spiritual lessons through our life, opportunities to become more aware. Is time real, or is it an illusion? I think time is not real from a spiritual perspective. Can you psychically see our future insights? No. I mean, you can. And something I learned is that the more unconscious someone is, the more you're likely to predict their future. Because when someone is unconscious, they are reacting to situations. So their life path is more predictable, because they're not seeing the infinite options to them in any moment. When you become more conscious, you open up so many more options, so many more choices, and you have more free will to choose, or like which option you want to choose. You start to notice different opportunities. Whereas when you're very unconscious, you're more likely to be in this mindset of, things are happening to me and I haven't really got any control, and you're almost as well, there's a lot of fear holding you back from even seeing opportunities. So if someone is very conscious, it's harder to see their future, or like predict their future, because they could go any way. It's so limitless and open for them. Whereas if someone, like I said, is very unconscious, then it's more easy to predict like what could be could be happening in their future. Amy, can you make billions on Polymarket? Amy can make billions. Oh. What's Polymarket? That's one sphere of influence is being. That's because one sphere of influence is being altered. Pip Mabel, what do you mean? What were you responding to? Can't decide a name. Time is interesting. If you look at the science behind it, but go deep, it will blow your mind. What exactly is consciousness and where does it come from? I don't know. But many spiritual teachers talk about consciousness being. It's like a. Isn't it? It is just. I think God is consciousness. Does our awareness survive after death? I believe so, yes. Definitely. Currently earthing in rain. Is it raining? Oh, I think you're quite far from me. How are you? Where are you from? I'm from England. Also, guys, I think I'm going to go soon because it's quite late. Maybe in 5 minutes. Oh, tired. Are your eyebrows wrinkly? Elbows? I don't know. Yeah, probably. Hi. Okay. Okay, Keith. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't read the handles sometimes. Okay, Efiani? Efiani? What is that noise? Oh. Is the self real or just an illusion created by the brain? I think we have a self concept and then we have the real self. But then I think the actual self is like our consciousness, just pure consciousness. It's like I don't think I think in terms of the word self, I don't know, it's a really good question though. Self. Myself. I feel like the only true self is the I am, the consciousness behind our thoughts, our awareness. I am you, you are me, we are all together, yes. Greyhound. Self is like the shelf without the H. Yeah, it's like we have this self that we actually. I think when if you're referring to the ego self, the ego has this kind of concept of itself. And it's made up of many different beliefs and patterns. Why are humans capable of questioning experience itself? Existence itself. I don't know, it's interesting, isn't it? How we are, I think we are maybe like more evolved species. But there are theories that humans are maybe extraterrestrial races that or the extraterrestrial races have come here and populated the earth. That's a theory. Anyway, I'm getting tired, guys, so I'm gonna go. But it was good fun speaking with you. And if you did enjoy, please do support the channel. If you're interested in learning more about the one-to-ones, then you can send me a message and we can just chat about whether I can help you or not in any area. And other than that, I hope you all have a beautiful day, evening, and yeah, peace, namaste. Bye, guys. Subscribe.